All right, in today's demo, we're going to deploy a cluster on AWS. We're going to set up Cert-Manager, and we're going to set up an Ingress controller. So let's go ahead and get started. So first, we're going to add a cluster. So we'll create a cluster. Go to Amazon Web Services. We're doing advanced cluster setup because we want to make some modifications. We're going to call this Cert Demo AWS. We'll put it in US West 2A. Make sure SSH key's on there. We're going to make a very small cluster, so small single node master and worker. We're going to select the latest version of Kubernetes, and then that's all we're going to do for now. Hit next. We're going to leave this default, and we're going to leave this default, and we're going to hit complete. And that's going to go ahead and deploy the cluster for us. It looks like our cluster is almost finished. So let's go ahead and download the kube config. So we'll save it. Then I am going to copy it into my config. See if I can hit the API. All right, hitting the API. So our infrastructure is running. And what I'm going to do now is go ahead and install our app catalog. So I'm going to add a new repository, call it PMK certified. I'm going to pull the URL. Save. All right, now that I've saved, I'm going to go to the app catalog, and I'm going to deploy Cert-Manager. So let's call this Cert-Manager. Deploy it to my Cert demo cluster, put it in the default namespace, put in my email address so that we can get a certificate. And deploy it. So this is going to take a minute to deploy, and then once it's done, we'll go and we'll deploy the Ingress controller. All right, now we're going to install our Ingress controller. We're going to use Ingress Nginx with LB. Hit deploy. We'll call this Nginx Ingress. We're going to deploy it to our Cert demo cluster. We're going to use the default namespace, and then we're going to leave everything else the same, and we're going to hit deploy. Our applications have finished installing, and if you look under deployed apps, you can see Cert-Manager and Nginx Ingress. They're in the default namespace. We can also see that on the command line with Helm list. And then we can see that both Cert-Manager and Nginx Ingress have been deployed. Cert-Manager is going to install a cluster issuer for us, as well as other resource definitions. All right, so there's our Cert-Manager, and if we do kget pods, we can see our Ingress controller. And if we do kget service, we can see the load balancer that was created for that, and it's an ELB. So what we do is set up a CNAME record for whatever URL we're going to be using, and we point it to that. I can show the demo URL that I set up. All right, that's configured. All right, so now what we end up doing is go over to these files that we have. We've got a deployment, which is just using the Echo server. We've used a container port 8080. We've got a service, which just maps to that for us, that we can set up our Ingress to point to it. Our Ingress is going to set up demo.mpedison.com. It's going to create a secret. It's going to send anything from demo.mpedison.com / to the service that we configured. So let's go ahead and create these. All right, so create, let's say the file is hello.yaml. Let's create our service. And then let's create our Ingress. Let's swap back over to the command line so we can actually look at some stuff. So we can say describe Ingress. And we see that we've created the certificate demo key. Let's get our cert. Our cert is ready. Let's go ahead and make sure our deploys are going. Deployment finished out. Yep. All right. So it looks like everything's ready. So let's go ahead over to our browser. Hit demo.mpedison.com, and there we go. So what's great about newer versions of Cert-Manager compared to the older ones is that I'm not creating certificates on my own. I can use an annotation within my Ingress resource. So right here, I'm just saying, set up TLS. Here's the host. We're going to use the annotation for certmanager.io, and we're going to tell it where the cluster issuer is. So the cluster issuer that was created for us is right here. That's all we're specifying. And then what it'll do for us is go ahead and create that certificate for us. Now that I've shown a demo with a single service and deployment behind it, let's go ahead and upgrade it to 2 services and 2 deployments behind it using the same Ingress resource. So what we'll do first is we'll delete the hello Ingress, and then what we have is 2 new files, so a deployment for hello universe. So let's create that. And then we have a service for it. Pretty much looks the same as the hello service, except we're using different metadata and app tags. And then we'll create the new multi-ingress. So what we've done is we've created another path for hello universe, and then we're pointing it to the hello universe service. All right, so now that we've created those, what we should be able to do is go to demo.mpedicine.com/, and that'll take us to hello world, and then, or just the splash page for the K8's pod we're using. And then we should be able to go to hello universe, and that'll take us to a hello universe page. So let's see. All right, so that works. Let's add on hello universe at the end. Hello universe, there we go. So what we've done is we have created an Ingress resource for 2 different backends, and it shows up here too. And we could add more. We could do all kinds of stuff with this. We could send traffic for a certain path to one set of pods in a deployment, or to another path to a different set of pods in another deployment. So that's what makes it really useful to use Ingress with a load balancer, because we're using the same load balancer for all of this. We could also set up different hosts and point it to it and do the same thing, because it's looking at the host name when it's doing the when it's figuring out what path to send it to. So that's pretty much the end of the demo. If you have any questions, or if you want to get a hold of us, you can get on our Platform9 Kubernetes Slack channel, or you can check out our community board. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe videos. If you subscribe, you'll get notified when we post new videos. Should be every week or 2. And you can also add comments and request other types of demos if you're interested in seeing different content around Kubernetes.